Hello, students. Welcome to Easy Limu Learning Simplified. I am your teacher, Mr. Stanley Ombogo. So, dear students, welcome again to another interesting session. We are looking at grammar, and in today's session, we are going to look at phrasal verbs. So, talking about phrasal verbs, dear students, these are some words that are common in both spoken and informal English. So they are used to indicate an action, and in most cases, they are made up of two words. So what are these phrasal verbs? What are these phrasal verbs if we ask ourselves? So a phrasal verb is a verb plus a preposition or adverb, or sometimes a combination of both, and which creates a different meaning from the original verb. So there are transitive phrasal verbs. So talking about transitive phrasal verbs, allow me take you back to a lesson on transitive and intransitive verbs. Leave alone transitive phrasal verbs. I want us to talk about transitive and intransitive verbs. So in our previous lesson, we learned that transitive verbs are verbs that are followed by a direct object. That is, they are action verbs that have a direct object. And remember, talking about direct object, these are the receivers of the actions, while intransitive verbs are the verbs that do not require a direct object to make sense. So they can make sense without the direct objects in a sentence. Now back to what we were talking about. So I was saying that there are transitive phrasal verbs, meaning that they are those that can also be followed by an object, as was seen in the previous lesson under transitive verbs. So an example in sentence that I have here is I ran into my old friend. I ran into my old friend. So we have the object here, that is my old friend, and that is it is the object. So my old friend is the object of that is ran into. And remember, the subject in this sentence is I. The subject is represented by the pronoun I. So there are also intransitive phrasal verbs. So these are phrasal verbs that cannot take an object. So they can also or they make sense without one. So example that we have is did you show up? Did you show up? So the phrasal verb that we have in the example or in the sentence is show up. So did he show up? So if you study that sentence very well, you will realize that there is no object. And sorry, in the first in the first examples that I gave, I did not say or mention the phrasal verb that we had. So in the first example, that is where we gave an example of phrasal verbs that can be followed by an object. The phrasal verb that we had in the sentence was run into. So there was the subject I, then the phrasal verb ran into, and the object was my old friend. So in the second example that talks about the intransitive phrasal verbs that cannot take an object, the phrasal verb is a show up. So again, we are also told that some transitive phrasal verbs have the object placed before the preposition. That is, the object appears before the preposition. So an example that we have in sentence is, we kept our relationship from my friends for some time. We kept our relationship from from my friends for some time. So looking at that sentence, you will realize that the object has been placed before the preposition. The object has been placed before the preposition. We kept our relationship from my friends for some time. So the preposition that we have in that sentence is from. yeah, the preposition that we have in the sentence is from. So we have that is the verb kept. So there is the subject we, then there is the verb kept, then there is our relationship from my friends. So the phrasal verb that we have in this sentence is keep from, which has now been used in past tense. That is now kept from. So it is also important to note that some transitive phrasal verbs are inseparable. So it means that you cannot, separate them in a sentence. So the object is only placed after the preposition. So in the previous, example that we looked at, it talked about that is those that can be separated. Again, looking back at that sentence, you are able to, or you can easily notice that we have separated the phrasal verb. So there are those that we say um, are placed. I mean, there are those that we say that the object is only placed after the preposition. For example, if you look at the two sentences that we have, I always hand in my assignment in time. So the phrasal verb that we have in the sentence is hand in, meaning to submit. So there is no way we can separate that is the phrasal verb. And if we do that, we will end up with a sentence that is having a lot of errors when it comes to the structure, the sentence structure. So another sentence is, she is looking forward to midterm break. So the phrasal verb again that we have here is looking forward to, which again is inseparable. So some transitive phrasal verbs also can take an object at both places, that is before and after. They can have the two rules combined. That is, they take an object before and after the preposition. For example, the brothers put out the fire before the firemen. So the phrasal verb that we have in this sentence, sorry, is put out, to put out. So in the first one, the preposition that is out is placed before the object. And looking at the second sentence, the brothers put the fire out before the firemen came. It is now coming, that is after the preposition. The what? The object is now coming after the preposition. So here are a few examples that we can study to help us understand some of the most commonly used phrasal verbs better. So the first one we have to ask somebody out means to invite on a date. Ask around means to ask several people the same question. Again, add up to something. It means to equal. Back something up, to reverse. We have back somebody up, that is to offer support. There is blow something up, that is to explode. We have a breakdown, that is breakdown, meaning to stop working or functioning. It is commonly used of machines and vehicles. So there is also breakdown that is also used to mean to be upset. Then again, to break something down is to divide it into smaller parts. There is also to break in, meaning to enter a building forcibly without permission. Then again, there is another break in, which means to interrupt. There is also break into something, again, to enter forcibly. An example is a house, and so on. So there is also to break out, which means to escape. We also have another breakout. This is now break out in something, which means to develop a condition. Then there is a breakup that means to end a relationship. We also have another a breakup that means to start laughing loudly. There is also bring somebody down, that is cause someone to be unhappy. There is also bring somebody up, that is to raise someone, especially a child. So there is also bring something up, that is start talking about a topic. And the last example that we have is still on bring something up, that now means to vomit. Sometimes we say to throw up. So dear students, that brings us to the end of the lesson. And also remember that there are plenty of these phrasal verbs. So these are just examples, but there are plenty of them. There are very many. We cannot exhaust all in one lesson. So I'd really like to thank you for staying tuned till the end, and remember to always keep it easy, Limo. Bye.